My name is Ryan Jones. In January of 2022, I'm 37 years old now, by the way. In January 2022, I was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. The way it happened is it started just like every other morning. I went into work. I build restaurants. I also work on multifamily. But long story short, we were starting a job that morning, and I went in. I could feel it on my right-hand side, my lower abdomen, and it started to hurt really, really bad, really, really quickly. And so I decided to drive myself to the hospital. At that time, it was Redlands Hospital. We were working in the Inland Empire, so it was Redlands Hospital, Redlands Community Hospital, the greatest hospital ever. You'll hear why. So after waiting 13 hours in the emergency room on a day that was their worst COVID day ever, 5 code blues and a bunch of other things happened. I finally was admitted after 13 hours in the emergency room. Luckily, I signed a paper they gave me saying that if I had any previous injury to the stomach or previous issues, and if they found anything in there, that they can surgically work on it or take it out. Smartest thing I ever did in my life. When Dr. Yo went in and started to take out my appendix, he noticed that there was cancer spread everywhere. My appendix had exploded and spread cancer through my entire body. It metastasized to every single organ except for my heart and my brain. At that point, basically the only option was to go into chemo. They told me it was terminal and that I would not live. There's no chance of remission. There's no chance of anything because I was stage 4. Not only that, I had Lynch syndrome, which was a genetic modification. Okay, so at that point I go straight into surgery. I come out, I hear that I have cancer. I have 5 years or less to live. I was extremely healthy. I ran every day. I'm an avid hiker. I hike my family every day, every night. It's insane. So all of a sudden I have stage 4 cancer. I'm 36 years old. I have a 2-year-old and a 6-year-old. That night when I got diagnosed, I'm laying in the bed and I'm talking to God, and for the first time ever I told God something, instead of him telling me, and I said, you're gonna have to rip my soul from my body because I'm not leaving, man. I have a lot more to do on this earth. I have kids, I cannot be labor, And I decided I wasn't going to give up, so I was going to try everything it took, every single thing it took, every single thing you've ever heard or read in the internet and on cancer or anybody's stories. I tried it, I did it. I'm still doing a lot of it. But I'm going to tell you a miraculous story about this water. So I was a year into it. I had already stopped chemotherapy about 6 months into it. I had the port taken out of my chest. God was telling me immunotherapy. I had tests against my tumors done, and they had showed 3 genetic markers, which anybody knows anything about genetic markers, it was very rare. So I decided to trust in the immunotherapy, and I went for it. I pulled the port out of my chest. I hated that thing. It was the worst thing ever. I think they're having suits over it now. It was painful. It was nasty. But I was at the point where I had nothing left, and my scans were getting worse and worse. My cancer was actually spreading at that point to the bones in my back. And so it had metastasized the furthest it could into my bones from my prostate. It was looking really bleak at that point, so I went really all out. I had no money at the time because I was already fighting cancer. I had no money at the time. But I found a way, and I got the machine, and I actually got it through John Johnson, who's my upstream. He's an amazing dude. I've actually never met him in person until today. We met 7 years ago online. We've been Facebook friends forever. But a year into it, he sold me mine. Okay, and that was, a year and 9 months ago, this cancer journey started for me. So a year ago, he sold me the machine. I literally started getting better as far as scans, I would say 3 weeks to a month and a half after I got the machine. 9 months later, you guys, 3 weeks ago, I just rang the bell for no cancer. So, yeah. They told me it was impossible, and it was not. During that time, I started an organization called www.hike for a cure. We get cancer patients out into nature, because that's where I believe you heal the best, and that's where this water comes from. And I just want to thank Enagic for saving my life, and John Johnson for being there for me when I needed the machine. I also have the Inespa, get that, because it doesn't allow any chemicals in your body, and if you want to get all those toxins out, you got to get the Inespa too, and you got to just, I'm going to take the I'm gonna do the UConn, but I couldn't until I was done with immunotherapy, and I just got done with immunotherapy a month ago, so
Amazing.
it's on after today, yeah.
Wow.